Just one thing. I mean, rugby has been pretty good, Donal, at balancing the integrity of the physical contest with the game as a spectacle, but the scrum is still a problem here.
Yeah, it is. Look, and I think we can go back to the World Cup. There was a lot of comment about the scrum and its function during the World Cup, very much because of the number of penalties that were coming as a result of it. I mean, the scrum is supposed to be an opportunity, 16 players in one part of the field as an attacking weapon. But we're here now, this is the third scrum of the game. There were 7 scrums in the match. None of them were complete. 4 penalties. And,
that's extraordinary, isn't
it? 3 free kicks.
So no completed scrums?
No completed scrum. So you're a back out there, you've something called, there's a bit of space, but the ball never comes out. It is a serious issue, I think, for rugby to address at the moment. They're taking too long to set up in the first place. You've too many resets, and there's almost the whole mechanical process in terms of setting the scrum. It takes way too long. I think it needs a major rehaul. I think it's something we might look at on this programme in the weeks to come.
Because we don't have a solution, isn't it?
No, we don't. I mean, look, you go back, one of the reasons it's taking so long is a player safety issue. You had the engagement process has changed on 3 or 4 times over the last...
That was for neck injuries back in the day.
Well, you were trying to take, initially you go back 7 or 8 years ago, the scrum was all about the hit.
Yeah.
So you were kind of 3 yards back. It was all about who could have the ferocious hit.
Yeah.
You took that collision out of it from that point. But now, I have a theory. I think a scrum coach is on over 100k a year. He's got to make the scrum look rocket science. It just takes too long for the actual scrum to be set up in the first place, and but the outcome, the reason for it, having 16 players, and the scrum is what differentiates us from rugby league. 16 players in one area of the field, it gives the fast fellas like this fella the opportunity with more space. But it's not even getting, the ball never gets to the number 10's hand. The same, you go back to Munster-Ulster on Friday night. The first 5 scrums, 4 penalties for Munster, 1 for Ulster. It's totally unsatisfactory.
At its purest, it's a kind of an expression of physical strength in the moment between 8 on one side and 8 on the other. Or is that like, where'd you get back to that?
You see, the scrum has a number of functions. If you're the more dominant scrum, of course, you're going to try and push the opposition either over the line or back as far as you can. There's a misnomer out there. I see it in matches now. When a scrum is in the retreat, everybody's shouting penalty, penalty. It's not a penalty if you're going backwards in the scrum. It's only a penalty if the team isn't pushing straight or is doing something, where they're illegally bound or whatever. But it's got to the stage now where almost before the scrum is awarded, teams are taking a time out to say, OK, what can we manufacture out of here? But the original purpose is a means of restarting the game to allow an opportunity for the backs to have more space. That's gone because the ball isn't getting out to them.
But even when you said illegally bound there, you see, again, you're kind of going, well, what is the binding law at the moment? And it changes.
Yeah, but there's also, I think, a sort of a question in that...
Skullduggery.
Skullduggery, exactly. You go back, I mean, if you can get early dominance in the first 10 or 15 minutes, you paint that picture in the referees, and then you can do what you like. You can drop the scrum when you're going forward and manufacture penalty because the referee is convinced from the outset that you have the more dominant scrum.
That's where you hear paint pictures, isn't it?
Exactly. Well, you go back to the Ireland game. I threw this stat to people all the time. We're having a pint in the pub. I said, how many scrums were in Ireland, New Zealand? You're all saying that was the reason we lost the game.
Yeah.
There was 5 scrums. Yeah. There was 1 in the first half, 4 in the second half. How many times did Ireland feed the scrum? None. Okay. There was 3 penalties awarded against Ireland in the 5.
Andrew Porter got unfairly characterised as the cause of the scrum problem.
Yeah, but certainly, we're going over old ground here. But the third scrum in that one for me, I thought was a horrible call from the referee. But